Well, this is the Yellowstone River that I've been following since Gardiner, and you can see how swollen it is with the runoff. Massive amount of water. I left Gardiner this morning and it's just a little sprinkle, and it's starting to rain now, and you can see how dark it is up there. And although there wasn't many cars heading in the same direction as I going out of the park this morning, it seems there's a lot more, probably due to the weather. I looked on the weather map. Big storm moving in, and it's a lot colder and cloudy. Contrast from yesterday's beautiful light and cloud cover and sunshine and warmth. Well, I got up this morning and it was a lot cooler by about 20 degrees and cloudy, and felt like a little bit of rain might be coming. The forecast was for rain, and when I looked on the weather map, there's quite a storm moving in from the west. So I went down into Gardiner, grabbed a coffee, and talked to my wife for about half an hour, trying to decide what route to take. I wasn't sure where to go, except I wanted to go north up into Livingston because I'd never been that way before. And as I started driving up this road to Livingston, I realized I'd made the right decision. It just felt right, and there wasn't hardly any traffic. It's been about an hour since I've been on the road, and there's a lot more traffic now, and a lot of people going into the park, and a lot of people coming out of the park too, and I think it's because of the weather. So I'm about 20 minutes from Livingston, and I'm going to fuel up there and grab a coffee and that sort of thing, maybe even have a breakfast that I normally don't do, but I'm on vacation, so hey, why not? It's really getting busy on this road as I get closer to Livingston. This must be a really popular fishing area because there's fishing camps and fishing access all along the way here. It's really beautiful, and it's lush green, and there are accommodations all along here, whether it's cabins or a resort, fishing access, you name it, this place has got it. It's really beautiful. And it's not quite as popular probably because it's the north entrance. But I'm just enjoying the drive. I'm not sure when I'm going to get home or where I'm going after Livingston, except taking Highway 191 down to West Yellowstone, and who knows from there what I might do. So if you're ever in this area, it's an incredible area to explore, and it's worth exploring from Livingston down to Gardiner and into the north entrance. And from the north entrance, you have access into Lamar Valley, which I think is the most beautiful of the whole Yellowstone Park area. I saw thousands of buffalo. It was amazing, and of course they're spread out all over this immense valley and right up to the road, so you can be 20 feet from there just by driving down the road, or even have them cross 5 feet in front of your car. So this is Bozeman, Montana, and this is the downtown area. I had to go right through it to keep on 191 going to West Yellowstone. And it's filled with young people. I'm sure there must be a Montana University here. It sure seems that way. It feels like it's a college town. Quite pretty. The surrounding area is quite beautiful. This would be an interesting place. I'm sure the winters are long, the snow is deep. But if you're an outdoor person who enjoys the winter time, this could be a perfect place to be. Sure has a great feeling to it. Lots of people on bikes walking around. Very much an outdoor town. Well, we turned off that main highway, and now we're headed south towards West Yellowstone on Highway 191. Looks like we're going to be going right through those mountains over there. Well, we look at that bighorn sheep right in the guy's front yard. Just kidding, they're statues. I don't know the name of the river down there. Been following it since we got pretty much a little bit south on Highway 91. But it is extremely swollen, more so than what I saw up in Yellowstone. Now maybe it's because it's later in the day and it's warmer and there's more snow melt coming down. But it's really amazing. These banks are really flooded, and you can see where the water is up against the trees that normally wouldn't be there. I haven't seen any kayakers, but I saw some guys looking at the river like they could be kayakers and trying to understand what the river's like now so they could put in and take advantage of all this high water. Although I wouldn't want to get a mouthful. It is so dirty, but if you're kayaking, I'm sure you're gonna. For some reason my mic wasn't picking up here, but I was out there just amazed at the flood of water that was coming down. It was so high, and you could see where it was up against the banks where normally it wouldn't be. I was just shocked. Little did I know it would soon flood. So it's an incredible drive following the Gallatin River up from Livingston up here. We just passed Big Sky. I didn't turn in there, but most people did, so there's a lot less traffic now. It's very, very windy. The water is very high. I've seen a lot of different rafters and kayakers here. It must be an amazing experience with the water so high to be able to experience this type of beauty that you can see behind me. We're so fortunate here in America to have the western states that has this kind of wilderness still to it and remoteness, even though since COVID it's gotten so much more impacted. Still, when I lived in Europe, there were a lot of beautiful places like going into the Alps, but they weren't the same because there were so many people there. They were tamer. Here you can still feel the wilderness, and we need to protect this wilderness because it's something that our soul and spirit crave. Well, it's still really windy, but isn't this an incredible sight? It's opened up into this great, huge valley after following this more narrow canyon for so many miles. It's absolutely exquisite. Look at this. And we're about 30 miles from West Yellowstone. It's about halfway from Livingston to West Yellowstone. Now, West Yellowstone is very expensive. Hotel rooms are expensive. The campgrounds will probably be very expensive. Not only that, being Saturday night, everything's probably already booked. So I don't know where I'll be spending the night, but I don't really care. I can drive wherever I want to. But this is just so beautiful. Just absolutely amazing. They have an elk enclosure down here, and why they have that, I'm not sure. I'm going to try and find out and let you know. Well, I've been outside a few times recording, and every time I do, I come back and check the audio, and I know the wind is really being picked up by this mic. But whether I use the shotgun mic or this lavalier mic, it doesn't make any difference. It's really noisy. I'm just having a ball, and the fact that most of the traffic has dropped off back at Big Sky makes it a lot easier, and there's turnouts every mile or two, and it's worth spending a lot of time experiencing this, because once you get to West Yellowstone, it gets really crowded there. Yellowstone National Park once again. I don't know if there's a entryway here or not, because you end up actually in West Yellowstone, which is outside the park, and then you go back into Yellowstone if you want to enter through that entrance. So probably this is just a road that goes down to West Yellowstone without any kind of entrance. So if you remember from an earlier clip, when we first got along the Gallatin River, it was swollen, it was big, there was massive amounts of water in it. Remember back in Livingston, as we headed south on 191 to be able to go to West Yellowstone, how lush and green and deep the grass was? Well, now we're up near the headwaters, and it's changed completely. I think it's really interesting to follow some sort of like a river where you're seeing it big and wide and deep, and then following it to its headwaters, or at least upstream or downstream if you're at the headwaters or close to it, to see how it changes and the impacts it had on the development of this country. Well, I'm just about 4 miles from West Yellowstone. And from there south, I know it's going to be really crowded on the highway. It's a major road coming up from Salt Lake City, over from Boise, Las Vegas, all that. So I don't know where I'll spend tonight. I'm going to look for a hotel somewhere down the road, maybe down in Twin Falls, something like that. I've stayed there before. It's a nice little town. Nothing much about it, but lots of hotels. It's pretty busy there. I'm not looking to make it all the way home tonight. It would be too much, really. You know, that's a long drive. It's probably about 5-6 hours, and I've already had a full day, so I don't know. It's beautiful weather out. It's not raining. I've had rain off and on coming up here from Livingston, so I just want to take my time, go through Yellowstone, head south, and just really appreciate how incredible, lucky, and blessed my wife and I are to be able to do these type of things. And for me to go out, my wife is still working full time, and I get to go out. She takes care of the animals, the horses, the dogs, the garden, the property, helps her mother-in-law who had a stroke a week ago. And well, it's just, I'm so appreciative. I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed, and to be able to share this with you as well, I feel really fortunate. So I hope you like what I'm doing on this channel. If you have any comments or suggestions, put them in the comment section below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I've got a lot of videos coming up. We did the Golden Spike where the trains met from east and west, and they laid the Golden Spike near Salt Lake City. We did the Pony Express Trail recently and came across about 100 wild horses that I wanted to put up. And then this trip here has been magnificent. Just constantly filming everywhere you look. It was a beautiful, beautiful shot. Interesting, the landscape, the animals. It couldn't have been any better. It was so perfect. And for car camping, this was just incredible to be able to drive the Jeep rather than the truck and the camper. I can see where I'd want to adjust things to make it easier and simpler to get things out, to cook, prepare a meal, to sleep. There was a lot of rearranging in order to sleep at night and then get up and drive and film and get my camera gear and food and all that kind of stuff, but no complaints whatsoever. I learned so much about being able to car camp, and I would certainly do it again, but I would definitely bring a tent with me. That's for sure. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying this channel. If you are, please consider subscribing, hit that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I put up a new video. Hit the like button, give us a big thumbs up, sure appreciate that. And until next time, you'll take care, follow your dreams, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now. So just outside of West Yellowstone, I hit this rainstorm, and it was as strong and as intense as anything I've ever experienced. Even when I was in the Philippines during monsoon season, this rivaled the amount of water that came down from the sky. It was incredible, and I actually had to pull over because I just couldn't see. Other cars were going past, but the spray and everything absolutely blinded my visibility. So no wonder that Yellowstone flooded the next day. And this storm was moving right into Yellowstone National Park.